Hello, everyone. This is What's Brewing. It is Friday, June the 6th. I am Steven from The Armed Gamer. I am the editor-in-chief and owner. With me today are some of my awesome writers. I have David on the line. He is one of our regular writers. Say hello, David.
Hello, hello.
We also have Deborah here. She is I guess, the editor aside from me. Say hello, Deborah.
What up?
And we have Jack, whose video is not here for some reason. Say hello, Jack. He is also one of our writers. He is also known as Whiskey Ginger.
Hey, guys.
Awesome. So, What's Brewing is our weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news, what's appeared on the site, what hasn't. We discuss things involving games and gaming. So, let's just go ahead and start right off with this. Oh no, what do you guys think? Should we go by chronological order, by lowest importance to highest importance to lowest importance? How do you think we should break down the news this week?
Are you just trying to decide if we're going to start with Fallout?
Yes.
I think we should start with Fallout.
Yeah, I think
We should start with Fallout? Alright. The big news for this week then. Fallout 4 has been announced. On Monday there was a 24-hour countdown on the Fallout main website. That countdown was inevitably to Fallout 4. It got everyone super excited. I mean, we've had a lot of hoaxes. There was the, what was it, 2299 hoax. There was, I forget what the other hoax was. Fallout Shadow of Boston, right, the fake trademark. David, you kind of wrote initially about that countdown, so why don't you kind of break down a bit of that history of us wanting Fallout 4. And I think, Deborah, you also wrote about the trailer when that premiered,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So I guess I'll start with you two. What do you guys think?
Well, why don't you go first since you covered the initial countdown?
Because I'm not the fan. But, I mean, it just kind of blew up the internet. Everyone's kind of had their hopes not really anywhere looking for a new Fallout. It's just kind of like, I hope it really comes out one day, but after all the hoaxes, no one wanted to get excited about it. And then all of a sudden, all of their Facebook pictures change, their Twitter changes everything, and the site just goes to that big "please stand by" thing with the counting down clock.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, really creepy in a way.
That thing was glorious.
It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Apparently, the trailer has inspired a bunch of crazy fan theories.
Really now, like what?
That the protagonist is the father from the first scene, frozen in some cryogenic chamber, who wakes up to find his family is gone in Vault 111. Was the one I heard this afternoon.
I mean, well, I can absolutely tell you that watching that trailer, like, you could drown a baby in my boxers. Like, I was just, it was just glorious. It was an absolutely wonderful trailer. One thing I noticed about it is that it appears to be a lot more colorful than previous Fallout games, like especially 3 and New Vegas. You could kind of see a lot brighter blues and a lot brighter reds in there. Also, I don't know, what do you guys think? I felt like the artistic direction kind of went a little bit further away from fidelity and a little bit more towards, I'd almost say a cartoony, well, not quite cartoony, but like working less on fidelity and caring a bit more about making sure it was stylized. What do you guys think?
I mean, I like the stylized look it has to it. I mean, because it fits the aesthetic of the time period that it's supposed to be set in. And I mean, the first comment I saw about it was how the graphics sucked, and I'm like, well, it's not going to be Crysis graphics, but it still looks pretty nice to me.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it looks amazing at 4K from what I've seen of the stills.
yeah, you know, that's one thing I wanted to say. Like, I looked at the trailer and I didn't think that the graphics were bad. I thought that the graphics just took a different approach or a different direction. They weren't going for that high fidelity Crysis look. They were going for something that was going to be a bit more stylized and therefore could be a little less on the, you know, Skyrim fidelity scale.
Well, I don't think the Fallout series has ever tried to go for like ultimate photorealism. It's a series that's built on kitschy 1950s pop culture.
Yeah.
Persisting into the future.
This is true. It did do a lot of the whole pop culture thing.
And Bethesda's never been really one to like break our computers with their games.
Well, they've been ones to break the computers with the games, but that's mostly because they have a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, Oblivion legitimately broke my computer.
Yes.
I had to buy a new graphics card.
Yeah, that definitely tends to happen. What do you guys think? We're going to be hearing a lot more about it at E3 this year because Bethesda, for the first time ever, is going to have their own main stage from which they can kind of broadcast their message. What are you guys projecting? Is it going to be release date next year, in a year or two from now? Like, are we even going to see one in November?
I'm calling it right now, November of this year.
I'm calling the same about November or December because they've already got it up for pre-order.
Yep.
All right,
I mean,
Dave?
that's not always an indicator, but I think.
Well, yeah.
I will yield to, the editor and Dr. Ginger.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to say it's going to be about next year because I feel like I want it to be next year just so Bethesda can make sure they iron out all the inevitable bugs that's with every single one of their releases. And I would love to see a game that wasn't a bug-riddled mess for the first week until they could get more patches out.
This has had a longer development cycle though than some of their previous games have. This has been under development since at least 2011.
And I think keeping it secret worked in their favor.
Yeah, when they did Skyrim got an announcement a year and a half before it happened.
Yeah, this is true.
Those screenshots of like random forest scenes, a year and a half, 2 years after Oblivion was finished. But we didn't get it until 2 years later. I think with this press conference at E3, they're going to try and push Fallout 4, Doom, and probably Dishonored 2 fairly heavily.
You think they're really going to be pushing Dishonored 2?
I think they're going to announce Dishonored 2.
I don't know about that. I mean, for one thing, how can you make a sequel to Dishonored 2? Like, Dishonored 1 had a pretty clear ending to that.
Yeah.
It did, but there are clearly other people in that universe that have the same powers.
Bethesda's never been one to use the same protagonist.
This is true. You do make a good point in that.
And Arcane's developing that, so it's not even going to be a blip on Bethesda Rockville's development schedule.
So, what do you think the tag is going to be on that? Dishonored 2, Dishonor Harder?
Dishonored 2, the Dishonoreding.
Alright, well, let's I don't know. Let's move on from Fallout 4 because that's a whole big topic. We could probably talk an entire show about that. And there was other news.
Your most popular article, damn it.
It was our most popular article. That's the web developer shouting at me in the background.
Which one, though?
It's Drew.
Yours.
It's Drew shouting at me in the background.
Who gives a fuck about Harvest Moon?
He says no one gives a fuck about Harvest Moon. I disagree. I have loved Harvest Moon.
I would like to second Drew's opinion.
Oh, fuck you, Jack. Fuck your shit. No, I've been a fan of Harvest Moon since I was a kid. Like, I remember reading about it in Nintendo Power when they first announced it for the Super Nintendo, and that's all that I wanted. Unfortunately, I never got it.
What's important is that both of the Fallout articles got over 1,000 shares.
That's true. They did get over 1,000 shares. The Fallout articles were massively, massively popular. Like, I am almost tempted to like throw up the Fallout trailer in the video podcast. I think I can just throw it up onto the Google Hangouts call.
Sure. You should just be doing that in the background while we're discussing things like Harvest Moon.
Dave, you're apparently not that big of a fan of Fallout, right? It's not your thing?
I really wanted to get into Fallout just because I liked Oblivion, and that was so. I liked Oblivion, and of course the next big thing that came out from them was Fallout 3. So I really wanted to like it, but just the characters were so ugly that it hurt me to even look at the people in the game, and
I solved that problem with mods.
They did.
There is that. But we also had just the whole. I mean, the game was in 4 colors: dark green, gray, hints of brown.
Did you play New Vegas?
I have played some of New Vegas, and I feel like all they did was, now let's shift the colors to brown, more brown, a little orange.
I felt like New Vegas was a lot better written.
I just can't get into the universes as much, but I'm also not a big fan of the kind of 50s post-apocalyptic setting, because we're mixing past and future. I like my future in the future, my past in my past. I don't want to go back to the past to find out their version of the future and bring it forward, unless someone does a really wonderful steampunky thing, or neo-Victorian, yada yada yada. The 50s wasn't a great time for me. The 50s is when we
Arcanum?
beat our wives and boiled everything.
For some reason, my microphone got muted. I do not know why. Um, I'm playing the trailer right now for the stream because why not? And honestly, a lot of people have been complaining about how just blocky everything looks, but I don't know. I think they did a good job. I like the dog's movements for Fallout 4. And I don't know, I think you might like this one a bit better, David, because it looks like this one is at least taking a more colorful approach. Like, not everything's so goddamn saturated all over the place.
I will give it a try, of course. I mean, it's a Bethesda game. There's going to be a lot of modding support, so I can do a lot of things with it. But it will definitely be a, 6 months later on a Steam sale kind of purchase for me.
Yeah, well, possibly. I'm probably going to be getting it at launch. It looks cool as hell.
I just really hope they do the dog companion correctly, because nobody can do pet companions correctly.
How many games have even tried pet companions? Is my question.
Well, I count some games that have, like, a person with you as a pet companion.
One thing that I'm actually really interested in this was a big ship that had jet engines on it.
Old Ironsides.
Yeah, it was old Ironsides with, like, jet engines. I
hope you can fly it.
I do too. Like, that's all that I want, is to fly that and go around and be a fucking, like, post-apocalyptic pirate. Yeah, give me all your bottle caps.
Lifelong dream of yours, Steve. I said it would actually fulfill a lifelong dream of yours.
It really would. I want to be a pirate. Honestly, the game looks really... I like the new look on it. And what's the vault number of this? 111, I think it is?
111, yeah.
One thing I will note about the trailer and the game so far is that somehow post-apocalyptic Boston to me, it just somehow looks cleaner than, like, modern Boston.
I imagine the Institute has something to do with that.
It very well could. Yeah, no, I look at that game like, that's the Boston I could live in. And go up to Boston and I'm like, it looks like something exploded here.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I wasn't even trying to make a Boston Marathon joke there. I apologize. I wouldn't even picked up on that if Jack didn't say too soon. Well, moving on before I can, like, fuck up even more, let's talk a bit about Harvest Moon. So that game's coming out. It's going to be Harvest Moon Seeds of Memory by Natsumi. This was an article that you wrote about, Deborah, so why don't you go ahead and talk about it?
Well, basically, since we haven't seen a Harvest Moon game in God knows how long, this is pretty exciting for those who enjoy it, including me, because I think the last one I played was on the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's coming to Wii U, PC, iOS, and Android.
Yes, absolutely. And that's actually one thing I found really interesting was in the press release they made sure to let us know that it's going to be classic gameplay again.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you guys saw what the last Harvest Moon title was like. It was almost like kind of like a Minecraft sort of thing. They tried to kind of copy that where it was like, alright, let's go ahead and you can just kind of build up blocks and farm those blocks or something. It was this really weird mechanic, and it wasn't quite the Harvest Moon that we all knew and loved. I think they were just trying to do something new. Because they can. They're returning to the classic gameplay, and it's going to be, like, what? 5 romance options, I guess male and female. It's going to have a bobcat that you can be friends with.
Yeah.
Not as good as the dog from Fallout.
And you're also going to, like, be able to, just do everything that you were able to do before on your phone, on iOS and Android, as well as on PC. And that was the big surprise for me, is that they were branching away from Nintendo platforms. Because Nintendo's kind of treated them right. Yeah, for the most part.
What I want to know is if they're going to have, like, character customization.
That would be nice. Because I think in the past, it originally started, you're only able to choose, there was no choice whatsoever, and then it was, you could choose male or you could choose female for your player character, I guess, avatar. I don't know, what do you guys think? I know some of you at least are fans of Harvest Moon, except for Jack, who apparently has no taste in games whatsoever.
I agree with Jack.
I mean, I'm excited for it. Nintendo announced earlier this year how they were going to start doing, a little more focus with like mobile platforms and stuff. So I'm interested, and I'm glad to see that they're following up on that with the iOS and Android platforms. But the PC release really stands out to me because, I mean, Harvest Moon, except for, the occasional Sony title here and there, it's always been kind of a primarily Nintendo thing. So now it's coming to the PC for the first time.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I'm gonna be like playing the shit out of that on the PC and probably stream it for a bit too, because why not?
And I will get at launch.
Yes, that's good. That hopefully it's not going to be like, oh yes, because it's on the PC, it's going to be a $60 title. Hopefully they'll price it properly because Square Enix has no idea how to price mobile titles flat out. They'll price one for like, oh yeah, it's Final Fantasy IV. We'll price this one $35 seems like a fair price. And for a game that old, just because it's on iOS, that's a stupid amount of money.
Wait, $35 for no.
Yeah, it was something stupidly high like that. They have no idea how to price anything, which is kind of disappointing. Unless there's an industry standard, they don't know what they're doing.
It almost makes it seem like Square Enix doesn't know what they're doing when it comes to their business model. It's almost like they're not making a whole lot of money when they totally should be able to be printing it.
You would think if they released, a proper HD remake of Final Fantasy VII, they could probably just print money. Like, hey, we're gonna set up a printing press called Final Fantasy VII. Everyone's gonna be like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Fully voiced HD Final Fantasy VII remake.
Nah, I don't want it to be fully voiced, if only because I really enjoy the stupid voices I do on these things when I stream them. Like, I like just being able to sit down there and come up with stupid names and stupid voices for all the characters. Like, Cloud was named Butts. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, Butts.
Oh, Butts. But moving on, another really interesting story that I got first-hand look at this week was Starfighter Inc., also known as Starfighter Incorporated, I guess. I don't know if it's actually incorporated, but Starfighter Inc. It is a Kickstarter project that, honestly, I don't know if it's going to be funded or not. I think today is the last day. It doesn't have that much longer to go. It's either today or tomorrow. It's another space dogfighting sim brought to us by the guy who, one of the lead designers or one of the main designers of the X-Wing games, like X-Wing, TIE Fighter Alliance, or X-Wing Alliance, or whatever it was. He is giving us another space dogfighting sim with modern graphics and all this cool shit, and it has about $58,000 to go in 27 hours. I don't know if it's going to get there. But they contacted me on Tuesday saying, hey, we have an exclusive first look, or you can get an exclusive jump on this story of gameplay footage.
Wait, they had stretch goals out to $17 million?
Really? I did not see the $17 million part. That's silly. That is absolutely silly.
Scripted cinematic single-player campaign for Tier 7. $17 million.
Ha! Ha 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 ha. There was no way they were gonna that. I feel like they kind of messed that one up. Or
That's that's a very ambitious Kickstarter, but they are not Chris Roberts.
I mean, this isn't a bowl of potato salad.
Seriously, dude. I don't know how potato salad got
How
so
much did that
fucking.
Kickstarter end up making?
Oh, I don't even know.
It was tens of thousands of dollars or so. It was just stupid. I don't know how it made that much money.
I really want to make a really dumb Kickstarter now.
Yeah, so this is the gameplay footage. I was expecting more, honestly, when they contacted me. Like, yeah, exclusive gameplay footage. Like, fuck yeah, I'll talk about it. And they gave me a link, and I thought that was a link they had already posted. Nope. It was this 1 minute video of obviously kind of pre-scripted. All right, he's looking out the window, and then he's undocking. The potato salad, thank you, Alex. The potato salad made $55,492. Oh, wait. Fuck them. Oh, fuck those guys. There is so much more to the gameplay. Those sons of bitches. Alright, the alpha footage they released was more than they gave me. So I sat there like an idiot trying to talk about the alpha footage, like the 1 minute shit they gave me. No, now they actually have gameplay. Holy shit, this looks so much more sweet than what they gave me. Fuck those guys, man. I would have loved to, talk about this and fangirl all over the place.
Basically, they just botched the social media part of it.
Yes, if they had given me this, I would have, fucking squeed all over the place. I even contacted them where I was like, guys, are you sure it's this 1 minute video? Because this is fuck all. Like, this is nothing. And like, yeah, no, this is it. Like, fuck, alright, I guess I'll just talk about this 1 minute thing.
I feel like Rock Paper Shotgun would have been all over this.
Yeah, no, they fucked up the social media. They fucked up the talking to actual media thing. God, no. For people watching the stream, that is not the footage that was originally shown. You can check out the ArmGamer YouTube channel, and that's going to have me talking like an idiot for about 1 minute footage. Where I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of cool. Like, you see them undocking, and you see the HUD, and I like the blue in the HUD, and if you want to check out their Kickstarter, sure, you know, and I look like an idiot, but no, I would have like fangirled all over the place if I had seen that actual footage there, because it actually looked fucking cool as shit. Ah, that kills me. It breaks my heart that they did that to me. Man, no, the gameplay looks really cool. If you guys haven't, look up Starfighter Inc. It actually looks cool. I can actually say that. It actually looks really cool right now. I should do a new fucking video on the actual footage instead of like what they gave me, because that's just it blows my damn mind. It was like, yeah, undocking, pulling out. Oh, look at that. That's it. They just undocked. But
Good.
it's got 27 hours to raise what, $50,000. Or I guess almost $60,000 to be honest. It could be worse.
They could hit their base goal.
They could hit their base goal,
and then at that point they drop it into Steam Greenlight and try and build funding.
I wish them luck. Yeah, they might go the Steam Greenlight process. I honest to God wish them luck with it, because I love space combat. I loved Rogue Squadron from back in the day. Didn't get to play X-Wing or TIE Fighter or anything like that, but I really like the fact that the genre is coming back. That space sim, that space fighter thing is back. Guys, check out Starfighter Inc. On Kickstarter. Let me go ahead and link that in chats. It looks like pretty cool. It looks pretty cool to me. I may back it at the last second. I might debate it. The fact that they had plans for up to 17 million, like, I feel like that's something you announce when you surpass your goal already. You know, that's like, oh, well, we didn't expect to get this far. Here's our long shot. You don't start off saying, I think it's reasonable we could hit 17 million on a Kickstarter. Who does that?
We can totally hit the largest Kickstarter of all time.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. That kills me. But let's move on to the next story. Infinite Crisis. The DC MOBA has been canceled.
I saw that. I'm not surprised.
I don't think anyone else is surprised either. There were many cries of anguish in the Infinite Crisis community, and every other gamer out there went, wait, that's a game? So
there was a community?
Yeah, there was a community, man. There was like an actual community who cared about Infinite Crisis. I was a member of their Facebook community. Like I was actually an official Infinite Crisis streamer for a while. Like they gave me keys to give out on the stream and like actually linked to me and cared. Getting a match in that game, no matter what mode you were playing, that took at least like 5-10 minutes, sometimes up to 15, and you just had to sit there and wait. That's what killed the game for me. Like I could not sit there and justify me sitting there talking bullshit for 15 minutes while I waited for something to happen, while I was actively waiting for something to happen. Part of what also killed the game, honestly, God, was licensing. Like, if they wanted to get a skin that was at all related to the actual comic books or any like DC property, they had to get the like actual authors and people in charge of that to license it, and they all had to get royalties. So their Star City Green Lantern, for example, the CW got royalties for every time that skin was sold, and as did like the writers for the show and everything else, and that kind of sunk the game because people were like, I really, really want to see a Black Lantern version of this character. They had to go, oh, now we got to contact the Black Lantern writer, get them to be on board with it, and that's always a crapshoot because there are probably writers out there like, my character isn't fit for a video game. You have to, unless you do this and portray them this way. It's like, but come on. It's like, come on. Why?
That's the problem, though, I think, with these licensed property MOBAs, is that you end up with this huge, unwieldy bureaucracy behind everything they try and do with the game, because you've got all these creators sitting there going like, this is how we want to see our pet character portrayed in this game and how they should play. And so you're going to end up with people whose idea of their character is just unbalanced and not fit for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Design should never be influenced by licensing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's unfortunately the way they had to go with it. Just because it's a DC MOBA, and honestly, like it was fun. It honestly wasn't the best. They had some really cool ideas with it, some cool different elements, but it just could not get past what it was, which was a clone of like it was just this weird mix between Dota and League with DC licensed characters.
And with Heroes going live this month, it wasn't a good time for it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They had a lot of competition. I mean, they had
saturated.
They had League, Dota, Heroes of the Storm coming out. Wasn't there like a Lord of the Rings MOBA as well? Is that one still alive?
What?
That was a thing that was I think briefly announced and touched on, and nothing ever came of that.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if that even came out or not. I honestly
there's Heroes of New Earth, which has some Lord of the Ringsy characters.
Yeah, but who cares about Heroes of New Earth?
Whoa, Cthulhu Fant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you guys actually play that game?
Oh no, I just know there's Cthulhu Fant.
There you go. But that being said, there actually are some cool things being done with the MOBA genre in general. The game Gigantic. Looks like it's going to be a really interesting take on MOBAs. It's going to kind of be like Smite, in the sense that it's going to be third person, but you're actually going to be able to jump and have a Z-axis in it, which is really cool. And they have a really interesting cast of characters, and there's no creep farming. You just attack other characters. It's straight PvP.
Isn't that just team deathmatch?
It's like TDM. It's like Team Deathmatch, but there are actually objectives.
Okay.
Which I think
I haven't gotten my invite to it yet.
Oh yeah, no, that's weird. Which, by the way, guys, if you at all want to sign up for the alpha, go to gogigantic.com. I got to play a little bit of it at PAX East, and I had a lot of fun. I had a goddamn blast playing that game. So you guys should totally go ahead and sign up for that.
Were you the one that played Duck Game?
No, that was David.
That was David. What did you think of that?
I started my review of it, and I actually got sidetracked with some stuff, but then I went back to go get pictures for the review from the game, and I just ended up playing the game more.
I've heard really good things about it so far this week from some fairly large outlets, and I was really surprised.
Yeah, it's an Adult Swim game.
A strange premise, and
it's just you take 2 to 4 duck-based characters, you give them fancy hats or hairstyles like pompadours or hats and aviator goggles, then you just put them on a bunch of various stages with a bunch of weapons and have them go kill each other. It's just those fun deathmatch like Super Nintendo games we haven't seen in forever because they all turned into giant fucking first-person shooter we hate your mother kind of things.
So angry. So
much anger.
It's so much fun. I'm still super surprised I'm having that much fun with it. But I mean, it's really fun to play. It's really amusing. The community so far that I found is really nice. Someone gets killed, and usually they're like, "Hey, nice shot. That was really good."
Not full of terrible people yet.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, David, isn't it like right now a press preview build? So the people you're fighting against are either going to be developers or press people.
I believe the game went into official release, I want to say yesterday.
Yeah, Duck Game is on Steam right now.
Oh shit, in that case.
I saw it on Steam.
Then. So
that's my recommended game list.
And you can get it for $9.99 until the 11th.
Yeah, it's super cheap right now.
Cool. Nice.
You should. I mean, yeah, get it. We should all play it on stream one day.
Yeah, I might just go ahead and get it, or I might just go ahead and ask for more keys because that'd be really cool. That's actually something you're writing, and I look forward to reading that review. It seemed like an odd game. The fact that it's out by it's an Adult Swim game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Adult Swim actually published a game that's fun and interesting.
Hey, Robot Unicorn Attack is a classic.
Was that actually Adult Swim, or was that just Cartoon Network in general?
That was Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
I thought.
Make me eat my goddamn words.
They also had that game where you were in an office and you had to kill yourself. That was pretty cool too.
How many ways to die or something?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that. Oh, also, something that happened this week was Zach wrote a review of a game called Atelier Chalet. Honestly, I'm not qualified to talk about this at all. I've never played anything in that series, but if you guys are interested, check out the review. It's live on armgamer.com. I honestly don't know much to say about it. Do you guys know anything about that game or the franchise?
The only thing I think I've heard is that in one of the games, to like level up your party members, you had to make them go to a bathhouse.
Sounds about right, honestly. Like,
It sounded very strange and very Japanese, and I haven't been big on the JRPGs since like high school.
yeah, it sounds like it
I
is
was a fan of JRPGs.
this sounds like it is the most JRPG-ish of JRPGs.
No, that's Hato full boyfriend or whatever.
No, that's just like an
That's
ROJ
most
game.
Japanese.
Senpai will notice me one day.
Notice me, senpai, notice me. I mean, that's kind of all that was published on Arm Gamer this week, honestly. One thing I actually really wanted to talk about, and this wasn't published on Arm Gamer, this was published on Polygon, was that...
Hey, what's your review?
No, the Witcher review we can get to later. No, this is the preview for Rock Band 4.
Oh, that thing.
It was absolutely, like, I don't know who thought that was a good idea for an article. So for people who haven't read it yet, Polygon, they sent one of their writers, Colin Campbell, to a press event. It was Rooftop Bar in Santa Monica to see Rock Band 4, which is a game a lot of people are really excited about. Like, yeah, Rock Band's back! Yeah! And this writer, Colin Campbell, wrote the most fucking pretentious piece of shit non-preview he possibly could.
It was
Like,
just like
you really
a
feel.
down of the entire genre.
Yeah, no, he just ripped on the entire genre, and it was just a pretentious asshole. Let me go ahead and read you just a little bit of this. A few of my more effervescent, more gregarious, more alive colleagues in game journalism are on stage rocking out to the Killers. We are on the rooftop bar of a pricey hotel in Santa Monica at a press event organized by Rock Band 4's developer and publisher Harmonix.
He used his entire vocabulary in one paragraph.
Yep, he is now out of new words.
I am standing at a safe distance, drinking fizzy water, eating puff pastry canapes, and chatting to another colleague about politics in the Philippines. I'm having an okay time.
I'm not one to really harp on anyone's writing, but I've already checked out.
I'm supposed to be
This
focusing.
guy to death with his Birkenstocks.
I'm supposed to be focusing my attention on Rock Band 4, but there's more chance of Ferdinand Marcos leaping onto the stage than there is of me mounting the boards, swinging a guitar strap around my neck, and yelling, "Woo." I don't care about rock music. I dislike crowds and I dislike loud noises. I don't do public performances, excepting Toastmasters, where I enjoy from time to time, along with half a dozen accountants, school teachers, and self-improvement nutters.
And I sip tea on my balcony and read literature because I'm not like other guys.
Seriously, what is up with this guy? Like, those are just the first few paragraphs before, like, the jump and, like, a press screen grab of it.
See, here was the awful part about all of this. He's attempting, and maybe he is this awful introverted intellectual that feels tortured by this oppressive outside world that demands he have fun.
God
I mean,
forbid.
I'm an introvert, but I don't hate the world that much.
Who
Yeah,
the fuck twisted this guy's arm?
to
to-
write this piece.
Seriously, I can just imagine he could have just told his, editor-in-chief, like, I don't like fun, so maybe sending me to something where I'm expected to have fun, I send someone else. I'm sure anyone else would have jumped at that.
He sounds like the kind of person that's angry that the Fallout series is not an isometric RPG to this day.
The fact that he's sitting there like, yeah, I'm trying to talk about, politics in the Philippines. Like, fuck off! It's a bar in Santa Monica. No one gives a shit. Play Rock Band 4.
Have some fun. Get drunk.
Seriously, drinking fizzy water. Who the fuck calls it fizzy water? It's
Who goes to
seltzer.
a bar and doesn't drink?
What the
Yeah.
fuck is a canapé?
No, I don't know what a canapé is. Do any of you guys know what a canapé
I
is?
think they're a pastry.
It's a puff pastry canapé. So I can only assume that this was I don't know, like a flaky dough wrapped around some form of filling. That's all that I'm assuming a canapé is. The fact that they called it a canapé instead of something even more conventional but still pretentious sounding, which is hors d'oeuvre. They are eating an hors d'oeuvre. Like at least people know what the fuck an hors d'oeuvre is.
Between this and the Witcher 3 article, I'm just convinced that Polygon's lead editor is like a chimpanzee in a suit.
Oh, and then there's this wonderful fucking gem of a line. All video games are stupid, of course. That whole thing of you're not really shooting terrorists or winning the World Cup, you're just pressing buttons, is patronizing and simplistic. But every now and again, you come across a game that has so little emotional connection to who you are that you end up standing there, gazing at the screen and saying, I'm just pressing buttons, and my life has no meaning.
So
To a slightly
basically,
bemused PR person.
Who the fuck writes about video games if they don't like video games?
Who the fuck's right? Who the fuck writes about video games from a nihilistic perspective?
so basically
How can
this
you
guy's
be-
idea of fun is playing board games at Vacation Bible School.
Yeah, like how can you be that nihilistic when you're on a rooftop bar in Santa Monica saying, here's a game no one else can play right now. Enjoy
With
yourself.
fizzy water.
He's the Friedrich Nietzsche of game
But it
journalism.
wasn't even free drinks. He had fizzy water. He wasn't even getting fucked up. He was drinking that free shit that, like, designated drivers drink.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe he was the designated driver.
If he was, man, he did it wrong.
She's one of those people who just can't have fun unless they're drinking.
I guess. He just fucking...
Except he never drinks.
Yeah. I don't understand how this guy could be so...
Lame.
Yeah. Like, how can you be
The correct
terrible?
term is dickbag.
As my web developer said, the correct term is dickbag.
Grade A dickbag.
Like, I don't understand how you can be just that bad at everything.
And this is a bigger problem I have with Polygon specifically. They try to be so pretentious with all of their articles.
Yeah, honestly, God, if
They
any of
try
you
to be
guys...
slate for video games, and it doesn't work.
If any of you guys wrote anything like this, I would fucking fire you on the spot. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say I police your opinions, but you guys
Basically,
Don't do
like,
this.
don't do this.
Don't write like you have an English degree and you want everybody to know about it.
Hey, now I have an English degree.
Say,
But-
I have an English degree. The only person I want to know about it is my potential employer.
Yeah, really. But honestly, don't do this, you guys. If you guys go to a press event, fucking actually write about the press event and what I sent you to cover, not how much you wish you were instead talking to someone about politics in the Philippines.
Well, my guess from all of this is I'm sure Harmonix was not happy about this piece.
No, I'm sure Harmonix was fucking thrilled about this piece because everyone got to go to the article. It's gotten, I'm sure, fucking metric fuck ton of hits. And it's got people talking about how they wish instead they got coverage of Rock Band 4, and it's got more people to go to other Rock Band 4 coverage. So this is actually a win for Harmonix all the way through.
It's just not a win for Polygon.
No, this got people even angry at Polygon.
Oh, bad press.
I'm just really tempted right now to write an editorial just picking this article apart.
Please
Can
do.
you please?
Please, I would. After your Revolution 60 article, I would love to see you just pick everything about it. And also, Polygon wrote that like awful piece about The Witcher 3. It's pretty much about how The Witcher 3 is sexist, racist piece of shit. Which I feel like they borrowed cues from Feminist Frequency, like Arnita Sarkeesian and Josh McIntosh on that, because they both were tweeting all about how it's toxic masculinity, I think is the term they used.
What? Did they even play through the game?
Well, apparently Geralt doesn't show any emotions. He is a
That's-
robot, and it further normalizes men not being able to show any emotions or something.
But that's part of the character because that's how Witchers work.
Right, but they're
Witchers-
also ignoring the fact that Geralt shows a fuck ton of emotion. It's just nuanced.
How can they say he doesn't show any emotion when he fucks a girl on top of a unicorn?
Well, I mean, you can emotionlessly, like, to be fair, like, that Fuckmaster Pro we talked about last week, technically could fuck a girl on top of a unicorn. It just wouldn't show any emotion doing it. Maybe not even derive pleasure. I don't know.
That unicorn, man, it's been sullied.
That poor unicorn. It's probably just sitting there like, I feel dirty. No bath can make me wash away this experience.
I cannot unsee that.
Honestly, I haven't even gotten to that part of the game yet. I need to play more of that.
Like, perfect example of why Polygon is wrong on this one. The Bloody Baron questline is an incredibly nuanced, very mature series of quests dealing with, like, domestic violence and loss in a family in the middle of a war.
Absolutely. Like, the Bloody Baron, you know, him and his wife were originally very much in love. Spoilers, by the way, guys. Everyone who cares, this is within the first act of the game. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, no, the Bloody Baron, like, he's a veteran who comes back and falls into booze and turns to domestic violence to cope with that. He goes away, comes back, because it turns out his wife cheated on, like, leaves him. Flat out just leaves him. So he goes and kills the guy that she falls in love with to get her back. And
I mean, as you do.
yeah, no, as you do, as things logically progress. And she doesn't love him, blah, 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 blah. Things go terrible for the entire family. That's the end of that. It's just things go terrible for the entire family, and you really get to see how Geralt reacts to that, and it can mirror the way you react. Like, you kind of discuss with the Baron, and you hear his story, and you can kind of react how you would to that. Do you come to some kind of understanding, like, all right, you fell into a rage, you're at least somewhat repentant about it, but you're still a cock.
He's a monster, but you still feel bad for him.
Yes. One thing that I also find really interesting is people complaining that, like, the bad guys say sexist shit to Ciri as they're fighting her.
Well, they're bad guys.
Exactly. Like, people are complaining, like, oh, they say gendered insults to Ciri as they fight her. Like, yeah, they're bad guys.
They can do that.
Expect them to say. Yeah, like, bad guys gonna be bad. They're gonna do bad things.
And this is my problem, because both sides of this whole debate have their own ridiculous factions. The extreme on that side of things wants everything to just be so happy and perfect, and no one ever insults anyone, and that's not how the world works.
In its own way, they're showing bad people are sexist. Don't be like these guys that you get to have catharsis and behead. Shoot Longlow in the comments, by the way, says, Witcher 3 is not supposed to be for kids. It's rated mature for a reason, right? Geesh, it's like don't like it, then don't play it. Go play Nintendo or something, which, honestly, I'm sure Feminist Frequency would look at Nintendo and talk about how everything there is... yeah, like, they would talk about how Nintendo is probably sexist for something, which, then again, Nintendo released Bayonetta, too.
Steve.
Yes?
I gotta roll for the night.
All right. Catch you later, Jack. Thank you for coming in and talking.
It's been good.
It has been. Have a good one.
You too.
Yep, that was just Jack, a.k.a. Whiskey Ginger, leaving the call. There's a whole online debate raging about, like, Witcher 3 and whether it's sexist for having bad guys say sexist shit, or whether it's racist because there is not a single, like, person of color in the game. Which a lot of people are like, well, this was a Polish developer basing shit off a Polish book that's loosely based off Polish mythology.
We're all white.
Pretty much, like it's as much as we Americans kind of try to paint all white people as this monolithic group. There's actually, especially in Western Europe, you have Slavs, you have the Romani, you have the Caucasians, you have varying degrees in which people still hate each other because they're not just skin color groups, they're ethnic groups, and they deserve their own, I think, mythology and our own chance to experience their mythology.
I think everyone's kind of just separated the world into white people and black people, forget everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Just Americans.
Asians are honorary white people, I guess. Mexicans, I assume people just assume that they're black, the way the Tea Party talks about them. Like, that's just kind of how things go. Yeah, people are just pissed that bad people are bad in The Witcher 3. I don't know. I've talked a lot. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's probably the last thing I really have time for to say, but just, I mean, it's a problem we're seeing, like, pretty much everywhere, where this whole social sensitivity bullshit has gotten to the point where not only are you not allowed to, even, like, quote or put a bad message in a bad person's mouth. You're just not allowed to deliver the bad message at all. And I think it's complete bullshit. Seriously, we can't have bad guys in games do bad things anymore. We might as well just go back to the 80s where the whole point of the game was just points and we didn't have bother with the story at all.
No, even that was sexist, though.
That's why we had to have Miss Pac-Man.
No,
It reminds
Miss
me of
Pac-Man
all
is
the
stupid.
controversy in Game of Thrones where everyone's all upset because like one of the male characters did something bad to a female character, despite having done several even worse things to male characters, but nobody said anything about those.
Well, men deserve it. Like, they're the patriarchy. They deserve to have terrible things happen to them.
God, Deborah, where have you been?
Seriously. It's like you internalize misogyny. But, alright, you know what? On to that note, let's go ahead and call it a night. Is there anything else you guys want to add or, interesting stuff from the week?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say. Go play Duck Game.
Yes, guys, go play Duck Game. And if you at all are interested in it, go contribute to the Starfighter Inc. Kickstarter campaign. Like, that's got $50,000 to make up. I still, honest to God, wish they'd give me the actual fucking alpha gameplay instead of that minute-long bullshit they gave me. Like, I want to see the actual gameplay, and they gave me something to bullshit with. So yeah, let's call it a night though on this podcast. Again, this was What's Brewing with Arm Gamer. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We are doing this Friday evenings. It's regular podcast where we talk about gaming news for the week. With me today was Deborah Crocker. She is editor of Arm Gamer. I'm Stephen Crane. I'm the editor-in-chief. And also David, God, why am I blanking on your last name? Dave Reeves. David
Thanks.
Reeves. There you go. He is one of our regular writers. Also, you could probably hear in the background our web developer Drew shouting shit at me on occasion. And earlier, Jack, aka Whiskey Ginger, joined us. So make sure you guys tune in next week. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. Give both channels a follow. Check out our news on armgamer.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/armgamer. All that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed. And every podcast has a sign off. I don't have one yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get organized and shit. Organize, you guys. So, peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed.